Hello and welcome to another episode of Press Play. I am your host, Derek Gerber, and today we have my good friend Alex here on the show with us. Welcome to the show. Alex, please introduce yourself and share with the audience what you do for a living.
Hey, Derek. Thanks for the intro. I am a software engineer, and I currently work for a company called CaptivateIQ. We are very promising, and I'm really excited to be along for the ride with them. Honestly, they're one of the best companies I've ever worked for. So I'm quite literally the correct evangelist on the side of engineering as far as representing them goes. So.
I love it. I love it. And, for the technology and the background of what you do, walk the audience through what Captivate IQ does. Do we see it every day in our normal lives and not know it? Where does the technology live today?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's also one I get asked a lot when I'm trying to pitch it to people out in public or like gatherings or even at my birthday. So for anything sales, there's always incentive. There's always incentive for compensating salespeople, and our app makes your life 1,000 times easier. Those are my words, by the way. Don't quote me on that. But we've literally shaved off scores, if not hundreds, if not more, in terms of hours for literally making the whole process of calculating sales commissions for all of our customers and obviously every customer that will join our ranks down the road. So, and we're really good at it. We're really passionate about it, and we want to keep doing it. And we want to be like the de facto sales commissions platform. And I love working on the app as well. That's a small caveat.
I love that. Well, on the back end of it too, I mean, we know that from tedious, manual, and human-prone error data entry backgrounds, those things can be really heavy. And people, who are doing their jobs and selling all along will have better relationships with you if you continue to automate these series of technology. Would you classify this technology as a robotic process automation system, or would it be on another back end for an integration to other systems that help make the processing easier?
So we probably have a combination of things. So we have a lot of data integrations. We integrate with like Workday, Salesforce, NetSuite, a whole slew of others. And all of this is also on our website, so anyone can check that out. The cool thing about it is that all of these data integrations, they allow you to take your data from these other platforms and bring it onto our platform. And with that, and with all of the power of all of your data, having it clean, having it ready, you can quite literally get up and running like insanely fast. And we just make your life easier with respect to getting your whole team of salespeople compensated efficiently. Also, and I would say the robotic process automation probably comes in with we have like a whole system of scheduling with these data integrations. So you can quite literally set your scheduling up so that when you're asleep, it's doing the work for you, which is a really awesome side effect.
Yeah, well, that's one way to build a lot of relationships is getting people paid while they're sleeping, and I think that's really important. Is making people get paid as fast as possible, as easy as possible, and you're not looking at it in an accurate format. There's a lot of ways to build a solid relationship off of that for sure. So my question is that with your latest announcement, working with Workday, the popular system, can you walk the audience through what that system does and then how you work with them?
Yeah, so it's a partnership, and it's a really solid enterprise investment from Workday, and it's them showing everyone that has like a positive light when viewing Workday, or they trust Workday. This is their way of saying, hey, if you need anything for calculating sales commissions and incentivizing your salespeople, Captivate IQ is the way to go as far as we're concerned. And the partnership is a really exciting thing that like just came out, and we're totally happy moving forward with Workday on this. However, just to note, this is the investment arm of Workday, so that's kind of a cool little tidbit there.
Absolutely. Well, the reason I'm asking technology questions because of a large portion of our audience happens to be in software, technology, SaaS applications, and there's a bunch of complicated little things that Explainify makes easier to explain. And so my point is, from the background, working on the technology yourself, bringing the stories to life, the use cases, the success stories, all these things, the biggest brands in the world, right? How are you working with product marketing teams and other product leaders to explain the advantages and get the technology up and running even faster? How does that process work there? Walk us through how you're building those digital experiences with people.
Yeah, so in terms of explaining, we have a lot of education for CaptivateIQ and how to use the app. We're very focused on training both admins, and we are carving out really strong lanes for our payees themselves. And we want to maximize the experience for both of those. And the concept and the aspect of explaining clearly, concisely, and helping our users literally own the system, giving them a sense of peace and autonomy. That's a huge value for us.
Yeah, and I gotta say, with the technology side, we spent a lot of time already talking about how the system makes people feel, how the system is building experiences within itself by handling these tedious things that usually, can take hours, weeks, months, quarters. And if you think about how people are traditionally getting paid their sales commission, it may not always be rapid fire. So if you could get your team paid faster in a safe and secure manner and make sure it's good to go, then onboarding these clients into this type of relationship then makes it feel like, well, why didn't we do this 6 months ago? Why didn't we do it, forever ago? And I love to hear that type of success story. So what type of campaigns has your team been running to integrate, the forefront of the technology you're building from the innovation side, and then bringing that to life, the new feature sets? Like, how do those typically get communicated to clients? Do you have webinars? How do you guys plan out your campaigns to explain these things to the teams?
Yeah, we do a lot of demoing on our sales side. We also do webinars. We also roll out like product and feature announcements through email, and we are constantly posting on LinkedIn and keeping people updated on like the latest and greatest. That we're working quite literally day and night to make our platform the best commissions platform out there, the best app, the best way to solve your problem and to save you time. So anytime we roll out new features, or we have anything that makes any of our customers' lives easier, of course we're going to shout it from the rooftops. And we're trying to be very careful and do everything the right way. And we are taking the correct amount of time in rolling things out, making sure that we have like top level quality, but we're also getting things into your hands as like fast as we possibly can.
Well, and that's really important for the audience because, again, we're really focused on the 3 pillars here at Explainify and how you create content. And it's around these 3 pillars: awareness, education, and revenue generation campaigns. And so far, you've already heard all 3. You have big announcements from the industry with some of the most popular platforms in the world, powerful integrations that just work. That's really strong to say. And that's like a bit of the branding side and culture that we feel. From the educational side, again, for the audience, look at what we're learning. We're educating people through content creation, working together. Video happens to be a part of one of the mediums and formats here, using, every little nook and cranny of information we've got and divulging it to the world and saying, this is the latest, this is where it's going, implement it now, right? And then, of course, there are revenue generation campaigns. Yes, here's the video on what the product does. Come on in, download it, get started. Let us demo it for you. Those 3 pillars are so critical for everyone in SaaS software technology to understand. If you've got those 3 pillars, you don't know where to start there. Start with some branding. Start with your ability to educate clients and prospects that could be out there, didn't even know about you. But then, of course, it's great to have product overview videos that lead into get started now, schedule a call, get a quote. however you choose that experience to be for your clients, that's what we want you to focus on here today. And so my friend Alex here, I know happens to be a full stack developer. So maybe you could walk us through more of the background as to like how your personal thoughts are around building, I don't know, really meaningful relationships through the applications that you design firsthand. What is that like for you? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, a lot of my passion behind full stack comes from seeing something from like idea and like a drawing board, and then eventually rolling out into functionality as far as the back end is concerned, and the user interface as far as the front end is concerned, and tying all of that together with services and APIs and that sort. And not only do I love that, like everything about that process, but I also love the technology itself. A huge, I'm hugely passionate about like any new emerging technology and using like both industry de facto stuff, but then also like finding these little corners where new things are being like worked on and developed by like open source communities or other cool tools that we're using internally. And all of that together, just seeing the orchestration of it all, it really just sets me on fire for full stack development.
Well, in a world where we're heading into the new normal 3.0 or whatever new normal that we're on, and the metaverse and VR and AR, we're seamlessly blending this world of reality and digital technology. And I see that Alex is on the forefront of that. And it starts with the systems that you see today, but who knows where that goes next? Who knows what experience is going to be around the corner? And as you build these experiences to our audience, again, think about the relationships that you're building along the way. There's so many options available in the world that people are now more than ever looking to align their own personal morals and values and what they believe in within the right brand and guidelines of someone that they want to work with. That's the beautiful part about the information that we see today across the interwebs, if you would. And for all the people in the audience, again, remember your hands-on work right now is building relationships with brands that are going to last a lifetime. So it matters that you're using the latest innovations. It matters that you're communicating in an effective manner so people know what's coming around the corner, and then they can sleep better at night knowing that your technology is the one that got them there. So Alex, I gotta say, this is really fun so far. So walk me through what other types of projects are on the tables right now. Maybe you can give us a couple case studies or examples of things that you're working on that highlight some of these relationships that you're building today.
Well, from more of a direct, like literal R&D side, I have to default to like my NDA. But I will say, like in a higher level sense, we are very focused on. So we kind of have two personas, if you will. We have the admin, as far as a user in our system that we're keeping track of, and we also have the payee. So the admin would be the one kind of owning and being in charge of the entire system of sales commission for their whole team, and they have like all in total control of who gets what permission, who sees what, who gets paid out, who can delegate here and there. And then we have our payee lane, which is the actual individuals going into the systems, the users, the employees, and they're checking out their processed payouts, and they're looking at their statements, and they're seeing that confetti fall from the top of the screen, and celebrating how much money they've made for that quarter or that month. And they're getting excited, and they're seeing the turnover. They're seeing the system work in front of them. So I would say, as far as like out the line, I would say we're really invested just improving like the experiences. We want to limit the amount of button clicks people have to go through, and we want to make so our platform is super flexible and very dynamic, and it can do quite literally anything you want it to do. However, with that, that's a tricky problem to solve, because with a lot of moving parts, it takes someone who's very almost has omniscient knowledge of the system. So we're working tirelessly on improving that whole user experience so that it is quite literally 1, 2, 3 click, you're done.
1, 2, 3, click, you're done would make a lot of people sleep better at night. And so that's what I love to hear.
Maybe
Well,
in the
Alex,
future we'll do 1-2 click.
1, 2, click. Now 7-minute apps going to the 6-minute apps. There's always a 6-minute apps guy. If anyone knows the movie reference, sorry, I got to be silly. But anyways, I mean, as we're coming around the corner here, bud, tell us what's next for you, and tell us what's next for Captivate IQ. What's coming up here in the next year or so? What can you share with us?
Let's see. I'm not a whole lot sure how much I could give away, but we're working on some really exciting things. What I could go into some detail are things that we've already released that are like hot off the press. We have a really like brand spanking new like dashboarding experience, so you can see all of your you can see all of your data and your analytics quite literally visualized for you in the shape of like graphs and bar charts and any way that you want. So that's really exciting because that makes so some have said, we're visual creatures, and it comes a lot into perspective when you're wanting to see, what is my sales team's data look like? And what does it look like in aggregate? What does it look like in the local short term? And seeing all of that leveraged right in front of you, it makes you feel like right at home. And that was a very cool feature that we kind of brought out of the workshop. And I would say we've done a bunch of really solid work on making our systems more scalable, more efficient. We've been hard at work on improving the experience of the entire modeling and processing, like the core of the app, which you fill up like worksheets with data of who's compensated when, and what are the percentages, what are the quotas for all of the employees, and you can slice and dice this up by plan and period group, and then you can preview what this data would look like, and you can kind of follow suit. And so that allows our users to check their work and feel safe knowing that things are going as according to plan.
Well, I got to say, after having 15 years of background in software and automation technology, one of the most trivial things that you think that would be easy to do is to visualize data. And yet everybody who's been in the game, who knows that they've had to build their own custom report or go hire a custom development team to visualize the data, you hear my friend Alex, we're communicating and making the data easier to explain through a visual medium. So there you go. Explainify, here it is right in front of you, right? So there you go. So, but my point is, like, that's really exciting, man. You're doing all this cutting edge work. We're all really proud of you. And we love that you're setting best practice examples out here in the market for us. So I just got to say one more time, thanks for being on the show today, man. I really appreciate it. It's really good to have you here.
Oh, thank you. This has been awesome. And I always love talking to you, Derek. And this was clearly another example of that.
Thank you, my friend. Well, for everyone in the audience, please like, subscribe, share. This has been your host, Derek Gerber, on the Press Play podcast. We'll see you next time on another episode and talk to you soon. Thanks.